This is my go-to running shoe rotation. What's up? My name is Chase. I'm an ultra runner. So far this year, I've done a few backyard ultras. I've done a 100 miler. I've done a 200 miler. And I did the Chicago Marathon earlier this year. So I've worn a ton of different shoes to take care of all those miles. Currently at about 3,400 miles on the year. So I've switched around with a lot of different shoes, but today I'm gonna give you some of my favorite shoes that I have in my current rotation. And before we get into all these shoes, I just want to make sure you guys are aware that you do not need to have a running shoe rotation, especially if you're a beginner runner. When I did my first marathon, when I did my first 100 miler, I was only wearing like one pair of shoes at the time. One of the reasons why I go between so many different shoes is because I'm able to, and a lot of that comes from getting a lot of shoes that are gifted to me. But I've been very fortunate and blessed to try all these different shoes and use them for different style workouts, and I've found what has worked for me. But without further ado, let's get into my favorite shoes in my rotation. This is the Fresh Foam 1080 V11. Now, this is probably the shoe that I've worn for the longest amount of time in my running career. And I found this shoe actually when I went to Fleet Feet many, many years ago when I started my running journey, but I found that I love the 11 the most. But if you're looking for a good all-around shoe that can do it all, this is the one for you. I ran marathons in this shoe. I ran 100 miles in this shoe. I usually go about 350 miles per shoe. I have heard a lot of people love the more newer versions, but I've since kind of moved on from it, but there still always will be a shoe that I can rely on if I can find them online. Now, what shoe have I replaced them with? I've replaced them with the Mountain Coast R1. This is a very similar feeling shoe. Now, this shoe is made for long ultras. Now, what I love about it is it has this adjustable toe box that you can do on the front side of the shoe, which is really nice because during ultras, your feet will start to swell up. So you can free up some space by adjusting this toe box. It's a pretty wide shoe to begin with, which is great. So your feet have lots of room, your toes have lots of room. Very comfortable. I just wore it for my most recent 100 miler, Tunnel Hill 100 miler. Held up great. It was very rainy. I'd probably wear it for any sort of longer road race or a flat trail race. But I have heard they are coming out with a trail shoe, so stay tuned for that. I definitely want to try that. It's a really awesome brand that I'm excited to keep trying more of their shoes. And the best part about this shoe is it can go for a really long time. There have been people who've gone over 800 miles on just one pair of shoes, so you have them pretty much forever. And if you're looking for any codes, I'll leave them in the description. Check them out. But yeah, overall awesome shoe. Next on the list, we have the Brooks Glycerin Max. This is a shoe you've probably seen everywhere. Now, I want to point out that I've never been a fan of a heavily cushioned shoe, which you're getting with this shoe. But after wearing these, this has become my go-to shoe for all around running. This could be tempo runs, this could be any sort of speed workout, this could be easy runs. If my legs ever feel sore and I just need to grab a pair of shoes that is gonna allow me to knock out the miles that I need, this is gonna be the shoe that I go to. So you can get some good speed with it, but in terms of an all-around shoe, definitely check these out. I have loved the shoe. This was a shoe that was also gifted to me, so I do wanna mention it. I probably wouldn't have tried it if it wasn't gifted to me, but after wearing it, I am a huge fan and excited to see what else they come up with along this line with the Glycerin Max. Sticking with Brooks, we have their trail shoe, the Brooks Caldera 7. Now, this is my favorite trail shoe as of now. It's very nice in terms of when it rains or the weather's bad. I wore these for a backyard ultra where it's extremely muddy. Bob's Big Timber, they held up great, kept my feet nice and dry. The grip on the bottom is incredible, like does the job to get you where you need to go. Nice wide toe box, which I love in a trail shoe, or the front is hard, which is good for rocks. It'll help protect your feet. Very, very well built shoe. We'll see, I'm gonna test more trail shoes out next year and we'll see if there's any other ones that I add to the rotation. But as of now, this is my only go-to trail shoe. And we'll keep rolling with the Brooks. We got the Brooks Hyperion Max 2. Now, this is a shoe that I feel very, very fast in. I started with doing a lot of long ultras, and this year was the first year I started to incorporate more speed work into my training. And this was my go-to shoe for it for my speed workouts. This was the go-to shoe for the actual race itself. And I actually got these, once again, another event. I was able to try them out when I was at the Olympic trials with Riley and with Brooks. And when I ran in these, you literally feel like you're being propelled forward. Now, it is not a carbon plate, but it's a very, very comfortable shoe. When you have it on, you feel like you're being propelled forward. Definitely a shoe I'm gonna continue to keep in the rotation and has been one of my favorite shoes in terms of speed. Another shoe that I actually forgot to bring with me, but I have it at home, is the Alphafly 3s. Now, I tried that recently to try to PR on my all-out mile. And as I start to continue to do more marathons and try to get faster at them, I will definitely incorporate that shoe and probably wear it for race day coming up. That is a shoe that I felt really fast in. That was my first time wearing a carbon plated shoe, and you feel so fast. That's another shoe where you feel like you're being propelled forward. So I'm excited to wear them for the Chattanooga Marathon, which I'll be doing early in 2025. So stay tuned for that. In terms of recovery shoes, now I don't know if I would throw this necessarily in the running shoe rotation, but I mentioned this with my 10 go-to items for backyard ultras. They are very comfortable. They have these little parts at the bottom of it that press into your feet that feels so good. It feels like it's massaging the bottom of your feet, which feels so good after a race. Those of you who don't know, I'm a gym owner, I'm a personal trainer, I'm on my feet a lot. And when my feet are hurting wearing shoes, I will wear these for the next few days after a race, and they feel great. Highly recommend getting a pair of these for your recovery shoe. Sticking with my day job and what I wear for that, I have recently started wearing the Mount Coast P1s. Now again, these were also gifted to me. These are super comfortable. It's a great shoe if you're looking for like a shoe for like group classes where you're running and you're doing lifting. Very, very good shoe for it. I love wearing these. Definitely love it day to day when I'm getting a lot of steps in. Last on my list, I have the Mount Coast S1. Now, how do I use this shoe? This is a shoe that I incorporate for shorter, easy runs. So during my week, a lot of times I have double run days, one of those runs being an hour easy run. And this is the shoe that I wear quite a bit for those. I'll sometimes use it for tempo runs, stuff like that, but definitely will use these quite a bit during the week. If I'm on the tread, I'll sometimes use these or the Glycerin Max, or I'll use these for those hour easy runs. And that's a wrap for my current shoe rotation. Again, if you're able to, it's nice to have these different shoes for different workouts. Hopefully this helps you give more insights into what I like wearing. Again, if you're struggling to figure out what shoe works for you, I always recommend going to your local running store, have them size you up and find the perfect shoe for you. If you enjoyed the video, if you could give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, we got a lot more running content coming your way. Stay tuned for more running content.